Hi, I'm Amanda Weinstein, and this is Homefront Headlines. And I am here with my husband and State Rep Casey Weinstein.
Mhm.
And we like to wrap up the week's headlines here. So, what's your favorite headline? I mean, it's got to be Bernie Moreno, right? What a great take Bernie Moreno made that women over 50, you're not allowed to care about abortion. Who is allowed to care about abortion?
Senate candidate Bernie Moreno is getting harsh backlash tonight because of comments he made over the weekend about women who support reproductive rights. NBC4 obtained a video recorded at a Warren County town hall during which Moreno accused suburban women of being focused solely on their ability to get an abortion and questioned why it would even be an issue for older women.
The left has a lot of single issue voters. Sadly, by the way, there's a lot of suburban women. A lot of suburban women that are like, listen, abortion's it. If I can't have an abortion in this country whenever I want, I will vote for anybody else. Okay, a little crazy, by the way, but especially for women that are like past 50, I'm thinking to myself, it's an issue for you. Oh, thank God my wife didn't hear that one. I'm in big trouble.
Well, first of all, let me speak as a candidate because I am running for state senate and I am also a state rep and I've been a candidate many times. You never assume just politically, forget all the craziness, never assume that everyone in an audience just is going to agree with you down the line. Especially when you're running for such a high profile race, this is just a dumb comment to make. I mean, in Ohio, we just had issue 1 where voters enshrined reproductive rights in our Constitution last year.
The majority of voters.
Significant
Which also
majority,
means
58,
not just
42.
Democrats,
Yeah.
Republicans as well.
Yeah, 58-42. It was overwhelming.
That's a majority.
But Bernie was like, hey, let me troll some women on abortion.
Especially the older women.
Yeah.
Man, poor older women really getting beaten up by the Republicans lately.
Yeah. Well, there's childless cat ladies, and we'll get to JD Vance in a minute. But childless cat ladies and now older women. But there's a problem. They can vote. They're allowed to vote. At least they're allowed to vote as of now.
What?
You're still allowed to vote. Yeah. And just the stupidity from a political perspective. And then just the trolling, it really bugged me. He was behind closed doors just laughing at women.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but also,
come on.
I feel like Bernie Moreno kind of forgets who he is when he's talking. It's a total mansplaining. Hey, ladies, let me as a white man tell you what you should care about. And I'm going to tell you, if you're over 50, you're not allowed to care about abortion. Screw if you have sisters or daughters or cousins that might need it. Forget about them. You're not allowed to care about abortion because the only people allowed to care about abortion is men, right? Who can't have abortions. That's ridiculous. I mean, that was a great clip also by The Daily Show.
Daily Show, credit to them.
The only people allowed to care about abortion, according to Bernie Moreno,
men over 50.
Men who can't have abortions.
Men who can't have abortions. I don't know. What it felt like he was trolling. That's what I think really upset me is, just.
Oh, no, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand. And also, guess what? People have issues they care about. And it's not on politicians to decide what people care about. It is on politicians to listen to what people care about. I feel like the Republican Party gets the lines of communication wrong. Your job as a representative, you listen to what your constituents want and what they need. You don't tell them what they want and need.
That's right. That's right. And you also listen to all of them, whether or not they voted for you or not. But it makes me
Republicans do not do that. They've made that very clear. Just Democrats do that.
It gives me zero doubt that he would vote for a national abortion ban that Trump would sign.
Of course.
I mean, this guy who was a never Trumper, all these guys just sell their
Bernie
soul.
Moreno was?
Oh, yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. He was a never Trumper too.
I'm sure we can totally trust him on whatever he says because he's not a flip-flopper.
Well, now we see behind closed doors what he says. And what we should all be asking ourselves in Ohio and beyond is, because this seat matters for control of the whole Senate, is what else does he say behind closed doors? What did he do to get Trump's endorsement? Trump just picks a random person every time to get his endorsement.
I'm pretty sure he stepped out of the race and let JD Vance take it, right?
Wasn't? Yeah, and now it was.
And now we have JD Vance.
Yeah, JD Vance
as our senator.
Has he been weird at all lately? Has JD Vance? Yes,
all the time.
Dude
doesn't know
is
how
so
not to be.
weird, and he's so obsessed with other people's families. It's bizarre. So like this morning, you and I were talking about like, what are we going to talk about today? I'm like, I got a JD Vance headline for you, and you'll never guess. You'll never guess what he's ranting about. Because we talked about it. Car seats.
American families aren't having enough children. I think there's evidence that some of the things that we're doing to parents is driving down the number of children that American families are having. In particular, there's evidence that the car seat rules that we've imposed, which of course I want kids to drive in car seats, have driven down the number of babies born in this country by over 100,000. So as we think about how to make kids safer, I think we should do it in a way that is accommodating to American families. And I encourage your organization to do that.
JD is ranting and railing against car seat safety laws, which have saved untold thousands of kids' lives, as being a deterrent, as being a big reason why couples in the burbs and couples in Ohio aren't having kids. Dude, could you imagine our group of friends like out to dinner?
JD Vance cannot put a car seat in a car, right? This can be the only thing that I can possibly think of why he is ranting his car seats. He doesn't know how to put him in a car, and he probably feels a little bad when only his wife can do it for him. And he's like, you know what? This is really what bugs me about having kids. Car seats.
Of all the problems, as an Ohio senator.
Also tell me you're not that involved in your kid's life without telling me you're not that involved with your kid's life.
Like, he just someone he must have seen on Twitter or X or some shit, that car seats or someone must have commented, like Laura Loomer or Marjorie Taylor Greene or one of his big followers, just like, hey, car seats, that's the problem. And so he spent like a whole hearing, and he's ranting on it. Just, it's weird.
It cannot be that car seats are really expensive and everything else that goes with kids is really expensive, and you have to feed them for like 18 years every day, and you have very little support when it comes to childcare or school lunches or any of that stuff. It couldn't be any of that.
Yeah.
It has to be how hard it is to get a car seat in a car.
There are very real barriers to having kids, and it is very, like, if you want to have that agenda, let's talk about.
Let's have that conversation.
That's her favorite line.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Kamala said it in a debate, and Amanda
when she was VP,
obsessed with this ever since.
Let's have that conversation. There is no conversation. I'm not
paid
willing
parental
to have.
leave, access to childcare, better healthcare options. Childcare is a huge one, Not only do we not have it, but we have a lack of it, and it's basically like, are your parents or in-laws able to, like, that's the unfortunate situation that we're in. Like, if you don't have parents or in-laws who are able to and live close by, like, you may not be able to afford, or you may not have accessibility to childcare. Yeah. And that is a huge, huge barrier.
That's huge. I mean, we have had to use my parents' childcare. Also,
we paid for childcare, which was
babysitting,
great.
Like the amount of people that we also need to help us out, like on top of all the things that we do every day for our kids. Like, it truly does take a village. And it's that village that we need to build up, that we can build up through these supportive programs like better access to childcare, that will, if we want to encourage more people to have kids, that's the way to do it. But also, why do they care so much if people don't want to have kids? Like, look, I love our children. I also can completely understand the choice not to have children and to
that's
just, like,
fine. Stay out of their business.
Go to restaurants and develop more hobbies. That sounds great too.
Tim Walz has a line for this. Mind your own damn business. Like, let's just take a quick tally of JD Vance's campaign. It was it's childless cat ladies who he hates. Yeah. It's Haitians, his complete lie that he made up.
From Haitian, where he said.
Right. Did he say they're from Haitian?
Oh, yeah, you didn't hear that one.
Oh. I doubt he's ever been.
They're from Haitian.
I doubt he's ever been. Haitians eating people's pets, complete lie on his own constituents. And now car seats are causing couples not to have kids. So great job.
No, I can't imagine why we trust Kamala Harris more with the economy.
I know. Oh, good segue. Good segue.
Which we do for obvious reasons.
And the polling this week showed she has closed the gap on the economy, which is the most important issue for voters, rightly so. And
let's gloss over the fact that there even is a gap on the economy. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Concepts of a plan to actually talking about real things like addressing the housing shortage and addressing people's access to childcare and what we can actually do about it. Things like the child tax credit.
Yeah.
Like
tax credits.
I don't know why there's
class.
a gap, but there is.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's out.
They're
talking.
real economic policies, right?
Yeah.
They are not concepts of a plan to one day think about maybe addressing it, except Trump does have
one plan
that's
going to solve all of our problems.
Oh, what is it?
Tariffs.
Oh, great.
So
full disclosure.
Yeah.
I'm an economist.
She's an economist.
So
we're on our
always
walk.
the funnest person in the room.
Yeah.
But
no comment. But we're yes, you are. But
I think I'm a delight.
So our dog's ringing her bell because she wants to go outside. Just a sec, Daisy. I am not nearly as smart as you on this, but I have heard nonstop Trump saying tariffs are going to fix all of our ills and all of our problems and solve everything. And so I'm asking you, my economic advisor and economist, like, tell us how a 20% tariff across the board on all goods that come into the United States, trillions of dollars, what is that going to do to our cost of living?
Oh, I mean, short answer, not good, right? If you don't like higher prices and inflation, you should really hate tariffs. A tariff is essentially a tax, and it's a tax on imported goods, right? So to understand what a tax does, oftentimes politicians like Trump think they can be super clever and let's say, but no, we're going to make the foreign company who is giving us the imported good, they're going to put their name on the check for the tariff. So therefore we're making them pay. Unfortunately, governments can't decide who actually pays the burden of that tax. That's the market. And the market decides through whoever has more market power. Because if you make that foreign company write the name on that check for that tariff, they can choose just to raise their prices, which essentially, even though their name's on the check doesn't mean they're paying, we're paying through higher prices.
Right.
And the more market power that foreign company has, or the more market power any company has, the more they use that market power to push the burden of the tax on buyers. That's us.
We're the buyers. So
we're going to be paying those, but the foreign company can feel real good that their name is on the check.
So what's that going to do to car seat costs?
Oh yeah, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. All of the prices for everything are going to go up, not just on imported goods, actually all goods.
Oh,
it gives even American companies the leeway to raise their prices because they have less competition
and more expensive competition, essentially, right? Oh, wow.
It allows American companies with record-breaking profits who have been using inflation in some cases to raise prices to raise their prices even more. So you can't say you don't like inflation and you love tariffs. I'm just sorry. The two don't go together.
I want to take us back to Trump's first term, which I know we try to shut out.
He did this. He did raise tariffs.
He did. Well, his only legislative accomplishment was a corporate tax cut. And that blew up the deficit and put a lot of money in the hands of the richest Americans, essentially. And now his big policy for his second term is tariffs. And I saw 97% of economists, like The Economist, which is a great publication, said this is not a good idea.
No. Right and left.
Yeah.
Even from like very right wing. You can get right wing, left wing. Yeah. Economists, we are an arguing people. We love to debate and argue with each other. It's just our culture.
It's
super fun.
Yeah.
But this is one we actually don't ever fight on. We all agree and are like, this is boring. We all think tariffs are stupid. Let's go on to the next thing to argue about. Okay. We all think tariffs are stupid.
Okay, enough about tariffs, I guess. But just like, I don't know, Kamala's out there saying, I'm a capitalist. I have plans for your family. I'm going to get you into homes. We're going to build more affordable homes. I'm going to give you a tax credit. She has a $50,000 small business tax credit. She's talking about that people really like. They're talking about reducing taxes on tips. Like, she is providing specific policies
for people.
The last 4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins, and you've just laid out a big plan. But still, polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Well, here's what I know in terms of the facts. Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000. He lost manufacturing plants. Ask the auto workers how he lost auto plants. We have grown over 20 new auto plants. He has an agenda. Let's just deal with right now going forward, not to mention what happened in the past. He has an agenda that would include making it more difficult for workers to earn overtime, an agenda that would include cutting off access to small business loans for small businesses, an agenda that includes tariffs to the point that the average working person will spend 20% more on everyday necessities and an estimated $4,000 more a year on those everyday necessities, to the point that top economists in our country, from Nobel laureates to people at Moody's and Goldman Sachs, have compared my plan with his and said my plan would grow the economy, his would shrink the economy. Some of them have actually assessed that his plan would increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So the facts remain that Donald Trump has a history of taking care of very rich people. And I'm not mad at anybody for being rich, but they should pay their fair share. But tax cuts for the billionaires and the top corporations in our country, and then not really paying much attention to middle-class families. My perspective on the economy is when you grow the middle class, America's economy is stronger. And there's empirical evidence to prove my point correct.
Can I just say our economy is people. When we think about our economy, the majority of our GDP is consumer spending.
Like 70%.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's us as the buyers.
Yeah.
So if you care about the economy, care about the buyers. Care about the parents and what they're facing, care about single people and what they're facing for renters.
Could be a burglar. Sorry.
The dogs agree.
Yeah, the dogs agree. Xander and Daisy.
Our economy is people. Policies that support people, that support households, that support our young people, right? More affordable housing is about not only how easy you can afford a house when you have kids, it's also about how easily young people can afford that house, right? When you are supporting people, you are supporting our economy. Our economy is people.
And I want to close on that note on our senator, America's best senator, Sherrod Brown.
Love him.
Is like, if Ohio were a human being, it would be Sherrod Brown. Like if Ohio, like every state, became a person, it's Sherrod.
I mean, can I say what I love about Sherrod is Sherrod has always been an unabashed progressive and saying, I am an unabashed progressive because do you know who progressives are? We support people. Workers. We support workers because it is workers doing day in and day out. They're the ones producing the goods. And we also have workers and families. They're the ones buying those goods, right? He understands our economy is people. If we want our economy to be strong, we need workers and their families and those households to be strong. That's how we strengthen Ohio. And that's how we strengthen this nation.
Whew. Well said. So while Bernie Moreno is literally laughing and joking and trolling Ohio's women, Sherrod's out today talking about how he supports reproductive rights. He supports women. He supports privacy. He supports workers. So,
also, Connie Schultz, who his wife is also fabulous.
Connie's fabulous.
Love the power. Can I just say, love the power couples
they are wonderful.
Oh, I know. Also, like our power couples, Kamala Harris and that power couple there, Tim Walz and his wife.
Doug and Kamala.
Love all these power couples. It's so amazing.
Yeah, wonderful. So, I think which way to vote on the if you're an Ohioan on the Sherrod Brown, Bernie Moreno front. And we'll be back next week with undoubtedly some more weird shit that JD Vance is going to say. Who knows what it's going to be?
Maybe that should be it. What weird shit did JD Vance say this week?
Maybe it'll be like about a movie or like popcorn or dogs. Maybe he'll come after pets again. Maybe he'll circle back. I don't know what's going on up there. I think it's just like two cats in a burlap sack just fighting in his brain, just fighting up there. And who knows what's going to come out? So we'll see. We'll be here to talk about it. This has been Homefront Headlines with Amanda and Casey.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.